What is good, YouTube? Today we got the LEC major region rundown, the European region. I don't watch too much of the LEC, but I think he dropped the LCS. Yup, it's right here. He dropped that yesterday. I gotta watch that too. But basically, y'all know the drill. If you guys enjoyed the video, because you know what I'm saying. 1 second. You guys enjoy the video because you know what I'm saying. You want to, you think I'm cool. Okay, so subscribe and like the video. Like the video, and let's get into it.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Major Region Rundown. I'll be making a video on each major region, starting off with the LEC, and these videos will serve as information pieces that are quick, snappy, and easy to understand so you can get up to date about all the teams.
Oh, thank you. Because I do not watch, you know what I'm saying? I need to get up to date.
Let's start with the first seed from the LEC, G2 Esports. In the top lane, Broken Blade. Jungle, Yike. Mid lane, Caps. AD carry, Hansama. Support, Mickey X. G2 is running the same roster as Worlds 2023, where they failed to get out of the Swiss stage, falling short to NRG. Expectations were really high for G2 during last year's Worlds, given how dominant they looked domestically. There were also rumors, later to be proven true, that G2 was doing incredibly well in practice against some of the top teams in the world, and this, however, sadly did not translate to the main stage. G2 managed to beat top esports at MSI this year in a 3-0 fashion, which is the first time a European team managed to beat an LPL or an LCK team in a best-of-5 internationally since 2020. They've won every single split this year domestically, winning winter, spring, summer, and the season finals. Skill level in Europe, however, has been a bit questionable, with a lot of G2's wins in recent times coming off the back of throws or misplays from other top teams in the league who are already ahead, leading to a lot of fans or analysts being skeptical of their skill level. Here's an example of some of the summer best-of-5s they played and the gold deficits that they were facing. However, I think some of their struggles during summer came from the meta shifts in bot lane, specifically the AD carry role, transitioning from things like Kalista, Aphelios, Lucian and Jinx, towards champions like Zeri, Ashe and Ezreal. Hansama looked a little bit uncomfortable with the shift and had to put in a lot of work from my perspective to catch up, and it was really noticeable in the season finals. If you think back to that win against
What the fuck is my Zeri 2v1ing over
Hansama looked at Aphelios, Lucian and Jinx and had to put in towards champions like Zeri, Ashe and Ezreal.
Rusky on the run. Who is this next Yike? Damn.
From things like Kalista, Aphelios, Lucian and Jinx,
He's like cut out
champions like Zeri, Ashe and Ezreal. Hansama looked a little bit uncomfortable with the shift and had to put in a lot of work from my perspective to catch Ezreal. Hansama looked a little Aphelios, Lucian and Jinx towards champions like Zeri, Ashe and Ezreal.
If you're gonna flash, bro, you gotta just jump to the wall, bro.
Hansama looked a little bit uncomfortable with the shift and had to put in a lot of work from my perspective to catch up, and it was really noticeable in the season finals. If you think back to that win against top esports at MSI, it was actually the bottom lane of G2 that surprised the world, winning out against Jakilov and Mako throughout most of the 2v2 lanes, even picking up duo kills against them and being a big pressure point for G2. And as much as Mickey X has shown inconsistencies this year, most notably running in alone and dying while warding, he has definitely still shown inconsistencies.
If he hooked right now, this shit will look so funny, but he will live. He will actually live. If he hooked as that shit was happening, he would bounce right back to the wall. It's a close timing, but if he did that, that would have been hilarious.
Running in alone and dying while warding.
He tried to do it there, but he should buffer it.
And will be a huge factor.
That's why Nautilus is kind of broken. Okay.
I also think Caps is the best Western.
Yo, Lethal Tempo is coming back. I'm so happy about that. You guys heard about Lethal Tempo coming back?
He's definitely the one mid laner to look at from Europe who could stand up against the best mids in the world.
I feel like I'm kind of happy about that. I like Lethal Tempo, I think.
Creativity. Even in the past when G2 was winning, the team was really winning.
Oh my god, Caps is so good.
Random picks when they were having fun. And this year is a similar sort of trend. Examples of this includes this year's lane swaps, being the first team to play Poppy support, Rek'Sai top, Gwen jungle. And as much as some of it didn't work, G2's strongest attribute has always been this creativity. Let's see if the meta favors them heading into Worlds 2024, and let's see what kind of
tanky. What the hell?
Come up with. The second
I remember the Rek'Sai meta, yeah. Tanky ass Rek'Sai.
Oscarinin, jungle, Razork, mid lane.
I do not like Fnatic.
AD carry, Noah, support.
I'm not a Fnatic fan. They gave me an ad because of it. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
Hi,
double ad.
A little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A spicy honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich.
Thank you.
Jun.
Chick-fil-A is good
It's the
though.
same roster as last year. The only difference is they've swapped out Trimby for Jun in the support role. They of course failed to make it out of Swiss
What was
stage
this
last
clip,
year,
bro?
losing to Worlds finalists Weibo Gaming. 2024 for Fnatic has been one huge roller coaster. They lost to Team Liquid at MSI and EWC this year,
Ooh,
which has
Razork.
disappointed fans and left a sour taste
No,
in their mouth when
Razork.
it
Oh, this
comes
is
to
TL.
international performances. It feels like Fnatic is always the bridesmaid and never the bride. G2 has just been their kryptonite for years and years, and that trend has continued in 2024. Losing to G2 in the spring finals, the summer finals, and the season finals. It felt like Fnatic was getting stronger as a team as the year went on, so hope rose for the latter series against G2 in the year.
That's bot tier 2, that's another 700 gold. No longer has that turret aggro. Nah, this ain't losable.
However, these once again ended in a disappointing fashion.
He's gonna cook him! He's gonna cook him! No, he's gonna die! No! They're gonna lose!
With Fnatic having incredible leads in most of their games in the finals, but just not being able to close out absolutely any of them, which was incredibly frustrating to watch. AD carry Noah has been struggling with a lot of mindset and performance issues since MSI this year. Opinions of fans and analysts on social media really impacted his viewpoints on himself and the pressure he was under. He deleted all social medias and tried to fix these mindset problems, while Fnatic also hired a performance coach to assist the team towards the end of summer. To be honest, you can definitely see the
He was
growth.
so good at
Noah's
first,
become
bro.
much more decisive, and you could
I didn't
see
know
in
he
the
was going through
finals
shit, though.
that he
That's
become a lot
tough.
more stable and reliable ever since MSI.
Gotta focus up.
But one of their strengths is definitely the early game, and one of the main driving factors there is Razork, who to me is the best European jungler heading into this tournament. He has an incredibly flexible style to fit whatever the team needs and always manages to find Fnatic early game advantages against every team domestically. This paired alongside a player like Humanoid, who is almost like a big game hunter, which is a term they use in Korea to describe players who seem to show up in the big games, should be quite a scary pairing at Worlds. Humanoid has always seemed to have good performances at Worlds, and although Fnatic aren't rated extremely highly and have had a bit of a disappointing year, this team can definitely catch you off guard with how they perform in both good ways and in bad ways. If this team fixes their late
no
games,
one's helping
they
my
could be a
buddy
strong
Oscar
team
in,
for
but he's
Europe.
just 1v1ing them.
The third seed
3,
from the
4v1
LEC
in
and
them.
starting in play-ins is the Mad Lions. In the top lane, we have Mirwin. In the jungle, we have Elioya. At mid lane, we have Frescowi. In AD carry, we have Supa. And in support, we have Alvaro. Oh, Mad Lions, the international disappointment name that'll scare international fans away. Losing in play-ins in 2020 and in 2022.
Inspired is a demon.
Has definitely play-ins in 2020 and in 2022. And
Look at Joe, he's like, alright. And then you think he was like, okay, he stops now. He's still doing it.
T1 has
The clip has to cut before he stops doing it.
However,
No.
the team has 4 brand new faces on the international
Inspired
stage,
is
led by
fucking
veteran
demon.
Elioya, who has definitely had some high highs and some low lows with Mad Lions, making it the semi-finals at MSI
Is that
2021,
Armut?
almost beating Damwon and also making top 8 at Worlds that year. The ups and downs of the past international performances represent the current version of Mad Lions quite perfectly.
B9, I remember
making it to the
this.
finals of the Winter Split in their very first split debut, but finishing 7th in
Winter
the summer,
Split, that actually
just
looked kinda
enough
cool. What
championship
the hell?
points to qualify to
They
the
had the
season
snow
finals
and shit.
scraping their way there,
Oh my
but
god,
then
Merwin
winning the
dodged it.
first best of 5 in a miracle fashion against G2 Esports, which essentially qualified them for Worlds. This team is just a very young and motivated team, and innovation is the name of the game. They have some incredibly fun players to watch like Mirwin, who basically has his own top lane meta completely different to everyone around him, playing things like Nidalee top, Fiddlesticks top, Lulu top, Nico top, the list really does go on. You can even hear it in their voice comms sometimes when they're in the pick ban. They will just pick something unexpected and random at the very last second. I mean, have a listen to this.
Gallius, an option, yeah.
Oh la la.
I can do Gallius actually, yeah.
Yep.
Oh la
I'm
la.
looking,
Oh
I'm
my
looking, I
god.
look it.
Yep.
It's
fine.
first rank.
Hell yeah, my god. Crazy.
I think a smolder is fine, method.
Good guys. Not a small though.
On the top, Sarah mid, or Astro mid maybe.
What the hell is their
that?
comp?
Okay, whatever.
You really will have
Sarah mid, or Astro mid maybe. It's probably Astro mid actually. Okay, whatever.
G2 tilted.
You really will have no idea what they're doing sometimes, and that's the beauty of their team. A lot of these rookies on Mad Lions have had standout moments, even AD carry Supa claiming that he's better than Deft, and the community had a laugh about it. It just shows the amount of confidence and drive some of these players have. Alvaro is definitely worth the mention, as to me he's Rookie of the Year, and Frescowi had some great moments, even solo killing Caps. Mad have the lowest expectations of the 3 European representatives, but it's their fire and creativity which might make this team amazing to watch at this year's Worlds. Or will we see Mad fail to make it out of play-ins for the 3rd time? I've invited LEC expert Vedius to give us his viewpoint and rundown of these teams quickly as we round out the video.
That's my hair
Hey
shaking.
everyone, My name's Vedius, and Cadril has reached out to me to ask my expert opinion on the LEC, to see what I think about the teams going into Worlds this year. And truth be told, I'm not optimistic. It's hard to be super thrilled and enthusiastic about the quality that our teams have demonstrated throughout the year. One of the biggest problems we've had in Europe is consistency.
Consistency.
They failed to deliver at the final hurdle, and it feels like that for a lot of teams, G2, even when they were a beatable obstacle, it was something that teams still couldn't quite overcome. But there are things to be optimistic about. When we look at G2, while their early game at times still is questionable, I think that they showcase the best mid to late game macro that Europe has had for a while. I genuinely think that their understanding of lane assignments, how to funnel resources into their carries, and generally how to play the map is something that is at a very high level, and I think you should be optimistic about. Assuming they can figure out how the meta evolves and they can adapt to it as we get closer to Worlds, my expectations for this team is that they should be top 8. I think you can make the argument and put them in the conversation for being a top 8 team in the world. Unfortunately, I don't think the same can be true for the other teams. While G2 does have their early game struggles, unfortunately the teams that have been able to take advantage of that in both Fnatic and Mad Lions have not consistently been able to convert those leads into a winning formula. For Fnatic, it feels like that some of their issues have stemmed from indecision, communication, and things just seem to fall apart. The foundation that they have as a team seems to be so exceptional. They seem to have incredibly talented players, and they have great creative drafts. Unfortunately, when it gets closer to being able to close out the game and deciding on how to play fights and play around objectives, this is an area where they're not entirely consistent in. But assuming that things can shift in their favor, they can definitely do some serious damage at Worlds. Don't be surprised to see them causing some upsets here and there.
This combo is kind of crazy.
For them aren't to make a very deep run in the tournament. Now for Mad Lions, they're a team that similarly struggled to close out games, but for different reasons. With Fnatic, where I feel like their issues stem a lot more from communication and confidence to a degree, I think for Mad Lions, there is just a degree of a knowledge gap. Sometimes they get too overconfident. Sometimes they make plays that they don't need to make, and they overcomplicate the game in a way that just costs them games. Ultimately, they've become one of, if not the most creative teams that the LEC now has to offer, and I think that their potential is incredibly high. A roster full of rookies is something that in Europe we don't get to see very often qualify within their first year to the World Championship.
Rookies.
In the past, when we've sent those rookies, they've been able to do some very impressive things. We think back to Origin, we think back to Misfits. When these rosters with young players have been able to debut on the international stage, people often underestimate them, and domestically, this was something that this roster has continuously had happen to them. They are constantly underestimated, they are very creative, and they're always able to find ways to surprise the competition. Again, do I expect them to make an incredibly deep run at this World Championship? No, I don't. I think that there are things that they are ultimately lacking, and three incredible junglers. But Europe, I think people have been very down on us, people are very pessimistic, and honestly, that's where we want to be. We want to keep our expectations low, but I know that our region can do very well. I genuinely think this year, G2 should be able to make top 8. That should be the basic expectation of them. If they're able to fix some of their early games, they can make a fight for the top 4. We'll see how things pan out, but I'm optimistic that Europe can do some damage, and if nothing else, they're going to keep us entertained. Alright, well, thank you so much, Cadril, for having me on, and I hope you guys enjoyed the rundown.
Thank you so much, Vedius, for your insights and expertise. That's all for the major region rundown of the LEC. I hope you're a bit more informed than you were before this video. Stay tuned for more Worlds content.
Very good
until World starts on 25th of September with the playing stage.
Do I subscribe?
Also, don't forget to subscribe.
Do I subscribe? Don't forget to subscribe. Let's subscribe, bro. Very good video, bro. Pretty professional. He came from that professional scene. So he has my videos be silly, bro. I'm not in a professional scene yet, bro. So my shit just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. That was pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and probably go do something with my life because, yeah. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I just said that. Like, subscribe, and have a good day or night, evening, wherever you might be watching. Okay, see you guys.